Today we're going to be talking about the absolute biggest advantage and disadvantage of online business. Hi, I'm Dan Pine, and you might be wondering, why should I listen to you? Who are you? Well, frankly, I don't have any big credentials to wave in your face to say I'm some sort of guru that you should listen to, but I do have both an offline and an online business, and I'm just going to be sharing with you from my experience in both of those. I'm also going to be showing you how you can cut your risk to zero in essentially any business, either offline or online. Now, more on that in just a moment. But first, let's talk about an offline business and an online business. This is my offline business, and this is a vacation rental here. You can see my picture down here, and here's the official site, Whisper Trail Resort. And again, my ugly mug and my beautiful wife there. And this is my online business here, and a couple of dashboards. Now, one of the big advantages of having an offline business is that it's easy for others to accept it as a real business. When you have a storefront, an office space, or a physical location like I do with my vacation rental business, it's easy for others to recognize and say, hey, yes, you have a real business. And that's a big advantage. But probably the biggest disadvantage to having an offline business is that the startup costs are often prohibitive. It usually takes a lot of investment to get into some sort of physical business, whereas an online business doesn't necessarily have that restriction. So let's talk about some advantages of the online business. As I mentioned, this is my online business, and here's a dashboard that you can see, and you can just see a year shot. You can see this is 365 days here on this, and let's talk about March 2020, right? Globally, things going crazy, businesses struggling, having a hard time, and definitely we were not immune to this. This is just one dashboard, part of what we do in our business, but you can see this week of March 2nd, we did 5.6 thousand and revenue, and that did fall off. We did about 3,000 the week of April 6th. And it did jump all the way back to 5.8 thousand the week of May 18th, but you can kind of see there are some ups and downs. That's pretty normal with this business. Now, we have very, very low overhead, only 2 employees. My partner and I are the only ones in the business. We don't have any employees under us, anything like that. Here's another portal. You can see the date range from March 1st to March 31st, and you can see these requests that have been paid. And here's the total in this $15,616.67. Again, not the total of our business and what we're doing, but you can see part of that. So what's probably the biggest advantage of online business? Well, honestly, the massive leverage that you can get from using online tools and resources that mean that it is very, very easy for you to get started. The barrier to entry is so low because we have these online channels where you can reach your hundreds, thousands, millions of potential customers and clients free, or so cheap that it's nearly free to distribute your products, your information, deliver a service across these services and tools that have been built online that you can use. An email is so cheap to send that it's essentially free to do that. And so the barrier to entry is very, very low. Now, the biggest disadvantage of an online business, this might surprise you, but I think it's actually the danger that you might not treat this as a real business. I think that is the biggest disadvantage, because if you don't give the investment, the time, the effort that it deserves, it's not going to pay you like a real business would. And so this is the biggest danger, I think, is that you might not treat it as if it's real. Now, you're probably wondering, how can I cut my risk to zero in any business? How is that possible? Well, here it is, and it's so simple. Don't let it just blow by you, because when you hear it, you might be tempted to do so. But you can cut your risk to zero in basically any business, online or offline, if you find your buyer first. And the extent to which you secure your buyer up front will be the extent to which you minimize your risk, and you can cut that all the way down to zero. Let me give you a stupid example of this. Let's say that I come to you and you happen to be a buyer interested in a very specific gold pen that meets very certain specifications. For whatever reasons, it's very important to you, and you're willing to pay $5 million for that. And I say, okay, great. Are you willing to sign a contract saying that if I find this gold pen that meets these certain specifications, you'll pay me $5 million, excuse me. And you say yes. And so you sign the contract, and I go out of that. What is my risk now to locate that pen for you? Well, essentially none, right? Because as long as I'm able to locate that pen at a price where I can acquire it at anything less than $5 million, I can make a profit. And I can choose what my margin is going to be on that up to the 5 million mark, right? And depending on how greedy I am, if I can find it at 4.5, I can be willing to pay up to $4,750,000 and just make a cool $250,000 off of locating this pen because I've already secured the buyer for it. So my risk in now buying a pen is eliminated as long as I know I'm purchasing it for less than what you're going to pay me for that pen. If you thought that was good, hey, go ahead and leave a comment down below, like this video, and you're going to want to subscribe because I'm going to be giving you even more great tips and training like this about starting a successful online business. In fact, in the next video, we're going to talk about the top online business models and the one deadly trap that you must avoid if you want to have a successful online business. That's coming up in the next video, so you're going to want to subscribe and check out that next video now. All right, thanks.